Welcome to Shovelware Diggers. Our dig team's currently excavating the Softkey Shareware 2000 Hit Games 2CD collection. You can find a link in the video description containing the entire directory structure of this archive. Here's what our diggers have for week 168. For more information on how to join the dig team, simply follow the Patreon link in the video description. Now without further ado, let's get started. First up, we have a team dig from Paul Cheer and Jonathan Gosselin. DOSGAMES /arcade /CFlag14. I'm pretty sure I actually know what this is. Yeah, and with a file name of capture, I'm even more convinced I know what this is. Type file id.diz capture the flag version 1.4 trophy winner. We don't know which trophy. One of the most reviewed shareware games by major media ever. I don't know exactly what they mean by major media there, but see a Word.doc for unabridged reviews, dash through opponents, beautifully detailed terrain, and a desperate race to capture their flag before they capture yours. So yeah, this is basically, it's a capture the flag type game. Way back when this kind of style of gameplay wasn't really found in anything. Doesn't look to be much else to run. I guess we could load up the doc files here. So let's just take a quick look at order c.doc, I'm guessing. So order C in terms of order the commercial version. So full version of the game has 10 capture the flag games, 100 scenarios, 40 maps, and apparently other features as well, and costs. Whoa. Okay. Apparently the cost of the game prior to shipping and handling is $29.95. That is not a small amount by any stretch of the imagination. Apparently they're identifying themselves as Car Software, so I'm guessing that's probably the last name of the person who made this, but, you know, it'll probably show up when we actually load it. Maybe. And there we go. No, it just still says Car Software. So we can actually get a good glimpse of the title screen here. It's using dithered EGA graphics, I believe. Might be VGA. It can be hard to tell sometimes. Just because of the fact that there's the only real difference between EGA and VGA in their high-res modes is that VGA has a little more vertical resolution. But judging by the way that this little ball right here is not spherical, it's actually sort of an oval shape stretched downwards, I'm going to guess EGA. Oh, and we actually have ad-lib sounds from the sounds of it. So the thing is, even though I know what this is, I haven't actually ever played much of it. So we've got some options here. We can show the grid, update local map continuously. Got animation settings. And yep, it's definitely doing ad-lib sound effects here. It says ad-lib /Sound Blaster, as that was pretty common to let people who had Sound Blaster cards know, hey, we have ad-lib sounds, but your Sound Blaster is totally okay with that. What's the quick start say? Beginners should just read this quick start section before playing the game. Capture the flag is based on the popular outdoor game by the same name. The goal of the game is to find and grab the other side's flag before they grab yours. And subsequently bring it back to your own flag, but it is played on a large field divided into 2 equal zones, one for each side. The zones contain a variety of terrains that impact the visibility and movement of the team members. Start of each game, your opponent's zone is black, concealing his terrain, players, and flag. The details are revealed as your team explores this zone. And so yeah, this is basically, it's sort of turn-based, where you have different characters on your side, and you sort of take turns moving your characters. So yeah, basically what they're going for here is the stance of your character determines how far they can move, how far they can see, and how well they can hide from the opponent. Basically meaning how visible they are to the opponent, like how close the opponent has to get to be able to see them. Kind of wondering what this little WoW option is in the file menu. Oh, it's just the awards thing. Okay, new game. So human versus computer. I might as well put it on easy. There's the quick start. Okay. Why is there... Oh, I see what it's doing. Those are actually coordinates. I thought they were like really big numbers for a second. I'm like, what? But no, they're actually mouse coordinates and screen coordinates. So I'm not sure... Okay, so the screen coordinate is referring to the top left corner, which doesn't surprise me. So here we have a map of our area. Local map is centered on your current person. It's for display only. To change the playing area, press the right mouse button to bring up the global map. Okay. So that white line there is what's dividing our two sides there. I'm not entirely certain what these numbers are getting at. But that's how we move the map, is we right-click and then click on where we want to move the map to. I do kind of like the way they've been spread out to start with here. Having some people over here, and then also some people right up at the line there. And we can already see one of the opponents right there as well. Can we actually click on the opponents to... Nope. That just attempted to move. The beep just sounded as to alert you that another opponent was just discovered. If he isn't on the screen, then he is as a solid red dot on the local map. Well, it's not like I can tackle him to the ground. Can only capture opponents on your side of the white line. Oh. And I'm going to change him back into standing stance there. Because if we can only capture on our side of the line, I want to try to be able to capture that guy. Let's move down here and let's get these people going. So this person here, and get him into a running stance. I find it interesting that it's constantly popping up. It's constantly popping up little hint dialogues as I do everything here. Should probably try to hide myself here. So 3, 2, 1, crawl. So it automatically advanced me to the next person to move. So one thing I've noticed here is that it only moves them one spot at a time, and it's constantly pulling up those. Is there a way I can turn that off? Because that's actually... Okay, learn mode. I don't want learn mode on, because it's actually making things more difficult. Okay, so I think I'm done my turn here. So if I go end turn... Playback of your opponent's moves that were visible to you. Okay, so I can actually watch how the player... Whoop. I escaped capture? How? And how does that actually help me, given the fact that he's right there now? I'm actually looking through the help here, and there's actually a lot of different settings and conditions and everything. So there's actually a lot to this game, really. Can we capture this guy? Probability of capturing your opponent is 35%. Yeah, I'll go for it. Yay, we caught him. Take one turn for him to travel back to his side. Good. You know, this is actually taking quite a while to play, so I'm probably just going to call it here, but this does seem to be a pretty well-detailed game. I'm not entirely certain just how well it is overall, just because it takes so long to play one round worth of this. But it's definitely interesting what it's got going. Oh, you can actually use the arrow keys to move your characters too. That's interesting. So that's about it for Capture the Flag here. It's actually not that bad a game by any means. It's definitely got a ton of features to it. But the only thing that... Oops, accidentally moved Dave there. The only thing that worries me is that it's there's not really a lot to it when it comes down to it in terms of just the raw gameplay. Like, the goal of the game is just get your people to the opponent's flag. But the thing is that it's offering a massive variety of tricks and tactics to take advantage of for doing that. So I guess whether it's worth $30 for that or not depends on if this really appeals to you or not. Like, I mean, all things considered, it does play perfectly fine, and I've certainly spent more money on worse games, so, well, I guess if this is your cup of tea, then here you go. Next up, Anthony has dug up DOSGAMES /adventure /GALLANT. Something to do with knights, maybe? I don't know. We got a batch file. We've got a $$ file. There's a readme.doc. Apparently the run.exe is dated 88, even though the rest of the files here are dated 93. That's kind of weird. Unless maybe this was something that was made with like a adventure game engine of some kind. It's not impossible. So apparently this is Sir Guy Gallant and the Deadly Warning. This a mysterious adventure game set in mid-17th century England. It takes place at the property of Gallant Hall. You take on the character of Sir Guy Gallant, a cavalier knight of the era. You must discover clues as to who killed your father, the late Sir James. Okay then. I think one thing that's gonna tell us if this is made with a particular engine or not is just typing out the batch file. Yeah, that's a pretty good indicator that Run is simply sort of a generic engine for the game, and that the Gallant files are the actual game itself that was made with it. What about the readme.doc? Okay, so the person who made this game is an Eddie Wright and wants a $10 contribution for the registered version. Okay, let's go. Gallant. Sir Guy Gallant and the Deadly War. That's going too fast. Oh boy. Anyways, introduction. With the restoration of the Stuart monarchy, royalists crowd the halls of Whitehall Palace, hoping to gain favor from the new king. Many lost everything during the civil war between the king's father and the parliament. Some were even forced to flee England for their lives. One such royalist, Sir Guy Gallant, the Gallants of Gallant Hall, worked their way from merchants to gentry during the reign of Elizabeth I. John Gallant, a wealthy merchant, was knighted by the Queen in 1589. Oh boy, there is a lot going on here, which, it doesn't surprise me if this is a text adventure. Would you like instructions? Yes. Okay, so the text interpreter does have some advancement to it here. So it's saying here how you could type in examine the ring or just examine ring, because it's only looking for particular words in a particular order. So it's either looking for a verb and then a noun, or then a verb and then a noun and then a preposition and then a noun. So that would suggest if you're trying to use something on something else. Yeah, because it's saying here, unlock the door with the silver key. Yeah. So definitely has some more advancement to it. Oh, I don't like the look of that. It looks like we might have 8 directional movement and up and down. Oh boy. Apparently this is the most important thing for us to do with this game, is have fun. Anyways, this is the road in front of the well, I know it's which engine it is now, because I recognize the way it's laid out at the top there. Those are some really poorly chosen colors, though. Dark red text on brown background. If you guys can read that after the video compression takes hold, I will be very surprised, because I can barely see it right now. Anyways, this is the road in front of Gallant Hall. The hall itself is just beyond a crumbling stone wall in which is set a rusting iron gate. So there's an iron gate located in the crumbling stone wall, tall tree across the road from the gate, there's a sign nailed to the tree, a horse tethered to the wall, and the horse is carrying leather saddlebags. Okay, so read the sign. Wanted for treason, the outlaw cavalier band known as the Royal Swords. Okay, hopefully we're not a member of them. I guess we could examine the saddlebags. Appear to be ordinary leather saddlebags used for carrying various supplies. Look. Well, no, we can't do look inside because that would be too. I guess open then. Open saddlebags. Can we examine them again? Okay, it's saying that there's matches inside, so get matches. Now carrying the wooden matches. Cool. Now if we type look, okay, it does show us the area again. So look at the iron gate. Gate is made of iron bars set in squared iron frame. Top is scroll shaped, it's covered in rust. Can we open the gate? So there doesn't seem to be any way to open the gate. Okay. Almost feel like well, actually, we should see if there's an exits command. No, it doesn't understand the exits command. So we don't actually know which ways we can leave this room. This is the road in front of Gallant Hall. The hall itself is just beyond a crumbling stone wall, which is set in a rusting iron gate. There's no directions here. Where are we supposed to go? We can't go anywhere. What the heck? And I just typed "dir" because I've still got DOS command lines in my brain. We just tried every single direction and we can't go anywhere. So now what? I mean, the only thing I can think of is maybe we have to jump the iron gate with the horse. Is untether. Oh, that does happen to be a verb there. And it's actually telling us right now that it's our horse. So, climb on horse. Doesn't understand the word. Ride horse. There we go. You need to mount. Really? Mount the horse. Sir Guy is now mounted on his horse. Jump the gate. Freaking... I guess just ride the horse then? And that actually quit the game. What did the game want me to do? Wait a minute. We're only in 1 out of a possible 69 locations in the game. And we scored 0 out of a possible 20,650 points? What kind of adventure game is this? Okay, so that was, that was a game. I suspect there's... Okay, all kidding aside here, the text is written pretty well, so this comes across to me as somebody who definitely has the right idea in terms of storytelling, just not the right idea in terms of actually making a text adventure. So, yeah, it comes across to me. Came across to me as definitely on the right track. But the thing is that it doesn't. It's not clear like how to even just get started here. And then for all of our efforts to get on that horse and get it moving, it made us quit the game. So, I don't know. I suspect there's definitely a bunch of gameplay here, but I clearly didn't have to... Like, clearly riding the horse into the game wasn't the way to do it, so... I don't know. And our last dig for today comes from Christopher Groff. WINGAMES/GG/JOSHO. I don't have a freaking clue about this one. Judging by the name, I'm guessing there's someone called Josh in the game. I'm just gonna find it first. Where the heck is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, so we've got a read.me. We've got a words.dic file. So that kind of, the DIC sort of suggests dictionary. So, yeah, I'm still not entirely certain. It's going to be a word-based game of some kind. JOSHO for Windows 2.0. Well, not for Windows 2.0, because that would never run. It's probably the version 2.0 of this game. And apparently made by a Zach Stern. So designed to run under Windows 3.0 and 3.1. Was written for hard software. I don't think that's a very viable name for your company, just for a variety of reasons, but if we're going that way. No charge for the use of JOSHO, however it's not released into the public domain, therefore JOSHO may not be sold or modified without the consent of Zach Stern. If you would like a copy of the C++ source code, send a stamp and a disk to... Oh. Just a stamp and a disk. You don't have to send any money? That's interesting. Okay, let's see what the help file here says. In JOSHO for Windows, you try to determine what secret word JOSHO has thought of, and at the same time, JOSHO tries to guess your secret word. Okay, so this is basically a two-player Hangman game. At least, that's what I'm assuming right now. Oh. Okay, so looking at this right here, this isn't a Hangman style game. This is a Mastermind style game using words. This is going to be interesting. Okay, so play JOSHO. JOSHO has thought of a secret 5-letter word. You should think of a secret word now too, but don't type it in or move your lips. Well, I'm kind of moving my lips to talk to everybody on the other side of the internet, so kind of screwed in that regard. Okay, that's very weird. I talked before about Windows and how that people making games for this stuff and failing to have having a maximize button, but failing to take into an account or not removing it or something. Here, the maximize button's been removed, but the border's still resizable. So, A for effort? Yeah, that's about the most I could say about that. Okay. So, I guess submit a 5-letter guess at JOSHO's secret word. Well, I guess we should probably decide what our secret word's going to be. And just so I don't forget in the middle of commentary here, I'm going to load up Notepad. And we're just going to write it down here. So we need a 5-letter word. What kind of 5-letter word should we use? I have an idea. Let's go with alpha. The very first Greek letter, and a very tricky 5-letter word because it has 2 vowels. They're both A's, and they end cap the word. So you can't use the vowels to really give you a hint as to what's in the middle. Although there's not many words that do that, so the moment you realize there's an A in it, and you know the word alpha, you might be able to get it, but we'll see how well JOSHO here does. Okay, so let's submit a 5-letter guess at JOSHO's secret word, and I'm going to guess his word is first. So my guess of first has 1 letter in common with JOSHO's secret word. And JOSHO's guess is needs. So how many letters are correct in this word? So, unfortunately for him, 0 are correct. But that does make things a little easier for him because he knows for sure that there is none of these letters. So I need to make another guess, because apparently only one of these letters was in the word. So type in a 5-letter guess at JOSHO's secret word. Let's go with break. Again, only has 1 letter in common. Okay, so JOSHO's very next guess is Haifa. I didn't even know this was a word. But what's funny about that is that actually has 3 of the letters in it from alpha. Okay. So I need to make another guess here. Let's go for close. I guess I don't have to capitalize, I don't think. Only 1 letter in common. Oh, geez. What? 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 How does he already have this? Okay, we gotta think of a trickier word than alpha. So we're just gonna go with the word trick. 5 different letters, only 1 vowel. Let's see if he can figure this one out. So I'm going to guess Josho's word is... Let's go for laser. Just because I'm feeling like lasers. Oh, hey, 2 letters. Okay. Josho's guess is helve. Again, that's a word that I don't even know what that means. And again, he's managed to guess a word that doesn't have any of the letters in it. Well, at least waiting for the train to pass gave me an idea for what word to guess here. So I'm going to go for strip. It has 3 letters in common. Okay. Okay. So Josho's guess is trunk. And he's already really close. Because he's already guessed 3 of the letters. He's probably going to guess it the next time. Like, I mean, I'm guessing what he's doing is basically, he's got his whole dictionary file, and he's literally just Xing out every single potential, and then just picks one that's not X'd out, and then... I'm going to guess syrup. Darn it! You have to admit, that was a good attempt. Josh was probably... Oh, he doesn't. He thought that the U was the common letter here. Haha. So we still have a chance to beat him here. So how many letters is that common with? The T and the R for sure. That's it. So 2. Okay. So, based on these 2 words here, which both have SR and P in them, going from TI to YU lost us a letter. So either a T or an I is in here, but we're not sure which. Now I wonder what this is for, because I can't really type anything in there. Interesting. So it actually helps you out if you need the help. That's pretty helpful, really. So you don't have to rely on your own knowledge alone. You can actually use this little thing here to help you out. Interesting. You know, after waiting long enough, it did actually tell us there's 380 words with the combination. Although let's bring this down a little bit. Let's say if T was the one that was correct. Okay, so given this, what's the first word it's going to come up with here? Forts and frost. Let's go with frost. That only had 1 letter in common. Well, at least Josho still doesn't have our word. So his guess this time was fount, which I don't think that's any of them. No. So that's another 0 guess. I'm guessing he was doing that to try and figure out which of these letters was wrong. Okay, so if frost only has 1 correct letter, but strip had 3 correct letters, we know that the T or the I we know that there's a T or an I. If the T is right, then none of these could be correct, which means this is impossible. So that actually means the I was the correct letter. But what are the other 2 letters in strip here that are correct? It's not the T. Absolutely not the T. But that just leaves SR and P. And this isn't pertinent as well. Out of the S and the R, only one of those can be correct because they're both in frost. So P has to be correct. So we know that there's an I and a P in this word. And we also know that it's either an S or an R, but not both. Also, given that knowledge, L, A, and E, one of those has to be correct as well. So let's go with Aphis. Only has 2 letters in common. Anywho, what's Josho's guess? Josho suspects foul play? What? Yeah, that's my bad. Yeah, there is a T in trick. Josho's secret word was Prill. Good for him. Okay, so this is actually a pretty fun game. It's my own stupid mistakes notwithstanding. But yeah, for free software, this is actually pretty cool. So if you want to challenge yourself with 5-word guessing and you want to put yourself up against a really challenging opponent, or did it actually have a 2-player mode? No, it doesn't have a 2-player mode, so it's only against 1 player. You know, that's weird though. This is a game where it could have a 2-player mode. So why doesn't it? Yeah. But in any case, definitely works out. So hey, if you want a challenging word guessing game, here you go.